It will not be close. You know what? Maybe you didn't hear me properly. Let me come a little closer. It will not be close. UFC 318 Holloway versus Poirier is coming up soon, and as MMA fans, I'm starting to realize that we do not learn. We keep trying to rely on MMA math, even though it lets us down over and over and over, time after time after time again, and I'm tired of it because I know what's gonna happen in this fight, and I hope that everyone else does too, but clearly no one else does because everyone online is just speaking rubbish. Like, oh, it's gonna be like, I don't remember who I saw. I think it's Lucas Tracy. Someone I don't remember. It's gonna be a scrap, man. No, it won't. And I'm gonna tell you exactly how this fight is gonna go. So stay tuned to the end of the video. Drop a comment. It's free. It helps out the channel. You know, blah blah blah, all that shit. I know you're tired of hearing it. So let's hop into the video, man. Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. We've seen this fight 2 times before, right? And I think from the first fight, Max getting submitted by Dustin, and the second fight where I think it was a decision. Yeah, I think it was a decision going Holloway again, right? No, going going Poirier again, right? I got kicked in the head one too many times. But the second one was a decision going Poirier, right? And there's a stark difference. I'm gonna say what I want. I'm gonna say this. There's a stark difference from the first fight to the second fight, and I'll tell you exactly what that is. The first fight saw a little bit more experienced Dustin Poirier coming up against still skilled, but a lot more unseasoned Max Holloway. And we all saw what experience brought to the game in the first fight, leading to Max getting kind of outclassed, submitted in the first round. In the second fight, we saw a more developed Max, but still more seasoned and a little bit more, I don't want to say confident, but a little bit more sure of the game plan Poirier, but not a massively improved Dustin Poirier, if that makes sense. I don't know if that's making any sense. Dustin Poirier has kind of been delivering the same thing to us for years, which is minor incremental increases. Because, like, I think Dustin started off here. He made a big jump up here. I don't know which hand I'm looking. My thing's kind of flipped on my screen. I'm kind of retarded. But I think he started off here, right? Made a big improvement. Then his peers kind of caught up to here. And he's just been going here. And his peers have been going here. And then he's been going here. And then they've been going, like, you know, I think they've steadily been getting closer to outpacing him over time. But because of experience and just grit, he's been thugging through it and keeping himself up there in the upper echelon of fighters, right? But I think with Max, minus the Volkanovski, like, come on, let's just X those out for now, at least for now, okay? X out the Volkanovski, X out the Ilia Topuria, right? We have seen Max in every single fight, right, that he's done, even ones that he's lost, right? He's shown big improvements from his last one. Right, and I think Max's last win against Gaethje, right, should be a big reminder or a big showcase of how much more improvement Holloway has made since the last time he's fought DDP. Yes, I'm calling Dustin Poirier DDP. He was DDP before Dracus du Plessis. Dustin the Diamond Poirier, Dracus du Plessis. Fuck Dracus, I don't like him. I'm giving the name to Dustin. Sounds cool on Dustin. But I digress. We've seen Max Holloway make very big increases in skill over the period of time that we've seen him in the UFC. Dustin Poirier once he made his first initial skill jumps, I think he's leveled off and just tapered, sharpened up and things like that, but he hasn't made any big improvements, which is why I think the title has eluded him for so long. Now, Max, I still think Max has a chance to become a champion. Believe it or not, some people are gonna call me delusional, but I really still think so. I think Dustin, after his last loss to Islam, really showed a big difference in the lack of development that Dustin Poirier showed. Now, people are gonna fucking come at me like, who the fuck are you? Blah 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 blah. Like, I know I am a nobody compared to Dustin Poirier, but I'm saying compared to other fighters, I haven't. Maybe Dustin it just shows, I think it goes to show his level of skill as well, because he got so good so quickly, but he never got to the point where he passed everybody to where he could become champion. He never got the undisputed, which is heartbreaking to me. And I wish this fight would have been, because Dustin started, Dustin welcomed Max, Max is gonna see him out, and I think that's exactly how it's gonna go. I really do think that Max Holloway, will it be a KO? It might be a KO, man. I'm not kidding. I really could see Max knocking him out. I think at this point in Max's career, a bigger Max that kept the speed and the big improvement that he's made, especially after fighting Volkanovski so many times, getting the rub from Ilia Topuria, or at least we'll see if it's the rub, putting hands on Justin Gaethje. I really think we're gonna see a big, like, I know you've heard people like Rogan, people say that people getting the rub from when they fight, when they lose to a good dominant champion, right? And I think Max might have gotten that rub from Ilia Topuria. So I guess we're gonna see, and it's good that Max's next fight is against a seasoned Dustin Poirier, right? I feel bad that Dustin might go out on a loss, because as you all know, Dustin Poirier is one of my, I would rather Dustin fight anybody else but Max, because I want Dustin to go out on a win, a dominant win. But at the same time, the old guy is leaving, and I want the new guy to do good. Well, not new guy, but I want the guy that still has a little bit more of a future in the sport doing good. So you can see where I'm like conflicted. I don't know if that makes sense to you guys or whatever, but it's really conflicting to me, because I'm so invested on both sides that it pains my heart really to say that I think Holloway is gonna knock him out. But really, I think if you look at the stats over time, I really think that Dustin, I'm not saying Dustin got lucky by any means, but Dustin caught Max at the right time, entering at the right time during his development. Caught him when he just come in. He had a lot of skill, but didn't have, the oomph behind his fight, if that makes sense. He would beat over a lot of his competition. He went a good run after losing to Poirier. Then we saw Poirier move up. They weren't in the same They weren't in the same divisions anymore. I don't know, man. That's just my thought. I really do think that Max is just not levels, but I think Max has the edge now, especially in speed. A little bit less weight, I'm gonna assume that Max is gonna have, but still a bigger, more. He can impose his will more onto Dustin compared to the not frail, but not. He didn't have the mass to impose his will on Dustin, and as someone as sharper boxing as Dustin, when he gets in close, especially like against a taller fighter, it's hard to do like solid work against Dustin unless you have him up against the cage. But if you let him walk you up against the cage, he will just slip and counter, touch and counter. He'll just wait until you touch him, then so I think Max has made the evolutionary what do I want to say? The evolutionary improvements needed to beat Dustin at this point in his career. I really do think so, and I think the experience that Max has gained from the Volkanovski, like, come on, 3 fights with Volkanovski, you've learned something in there, okay? And I mean, I guess we're gonna see, man, because both guys have a lot invested in this fight. Because right now, if Holloway loses, he's gonna be what, 6-0 against 2 fighters. 3-0 against 2 fighters. That's rough. That's not a stat you want to accumulate, especially when you have title aspirations for the future. But yeah, that's my thoughts, man. I really do think that it will not be a close fight. I really do think so, and I think just by Max's volume, we've seen Dustin kind of not get gassed, but Dustin has shown, like, you can make him wane when it comes to his speed. His boxing will stay sharp and his counters will stay sharp, but his speed does deteriorate a little bit more in the later rounds. And we know that I guess we're gonna see, because depending on how Max is gonna bounce back from that Ilia Topuria loss is gonna determine a lot. It's really gonna determine a lot, and I don't know, man. I think after Max pieced up, Gaethje beat Dustin. I'm doing MMA math, but fuck. Gaethje beat Dustin, Max beat Gaethje, right? And in dominant fashion too. I might say. And I think this is Max's redemption to put himself back up there to where he can say, I want that within my next 2 fights, I want a title shot. I really think we're gonna see it. And I think if Max goes out and dominates the way he really should, this should count to put him back like close to like 2 more fights after that for title contention. So that's my thought. I'm a little bit retarded. Don't take what I say with a grain of salt. It's just my opinion. And if you think I'm retarded, let me know in the comments down below. Drop some comments, man. Drop some likes. It helps out the channel, you know? And yeah, I guess you'll be back here to let me know if I was fucking retarded or not. I'll see you guys later. Drop a sub. Peace.